Oh, stop yawning. I
Yeah,
wasn't
good
asleep.
start. A yawn.
Okay, welcome back to downtown Coolsville. We're doing this again. I'm Bryce. This is Jacob.
Hi.
We got our guests. Uh, Actually, how do you pronounce your username? I know your name's Lucinda, but
I just like to say it like Lucinda, but like with an X. So like,
oh, Lucinda. Okay.
I don't know.
Lucinda.
Yeah, Lucinda. Like whenever, because it's also my Twitch username. So like whenever I subscribe to people
Oh.
on Twitch, and it like pops
Hmm.
up on the thing. People always like butcher it, and I'm like, you can just say whatever you want. I don't
Okay.
know.
I was talking
What
about
do
more
you,
your
um,
TikTok
yeah,
username,
we'll
which
let you.
I would assume
Oh!
that's pronounced Epthot. Like,
Yes.
is that the joke? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it's like
I like that. That's
Epcot,
hilarious.
Yes,
Epthot.
yes.
I searched it and I was. I don't know,
Yes,
that's just
it
funny.
is Epthot Lucinda because I'm a thought and I like Epcot.
Okay.
I'm not big on TikTok, so Bryce is sort of the one putting together all the guest stuff.
I'm the secretary of the.
Yeah,
The
he's,
PR
he's
guy.
my secretary. They are my secretary.
They.
See, I'm getting the hang of it. This is a.
Learning experience.
It is quite the learning experience.
Yes.
Bryce, do you want to, or Lucinda, do you want to tell us about what you do on TikTok? Like what sort of things you post, or what you
Well,
like to post?
Yeah, I mean, currently I'm having like an identity crisis when it comes to like
Wonderful.
my content.
It's-
But I got my 13,000 followers from a TikTok of mine going viral in 2019. And it was like back then, like when I first started TikTok, it was just cosplay, specifically Disney cosplay because I'm a party princess.
What is that?
So
party princess?
Yes, party princessing is like you dress up as Disney princesses and go to like kids' birthday parties.
Okay, like the
Um,
Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, exactly. I've never seen that movie, but I'm sure
Really?
it's like that. Yeah, no, I haven't. I haven't seen
Damn.
any of the Ghostbusters. I'm kinda
Wow,
lame.
that's depressing.
I have ADHD, so it's really hard for me to watch movies.
Me too,
Like,
but movies are
yeah.
the one thing that hold my attention. It's
that's
crazy.
like the opposite for
What
me.
is the?
I don't know.
Do you have a thing that is like oh, I can't pay attention to anything, but when this comes up, I can just sit there and do it for hours.
Ah, no, not really. I don't really have like anything that like I can solidly pay attention to, unfortunately. Like
Oh,
I
that's
wish
so
I did.
sad.
I know. And like unless I take like one of my like unless I legally get prescribed Adderall, so unless I
Legally?
take an Adderall.
I like how you had to throw that in there.
Yes, like people,
For
you know,
legal
I'm
reasons.
like yeah, like no, I actually take Adderall for legal like specific reasons, but like unless I like take an Adderall, like I really can't solidly pay attention to anything.
That's
And
fair.
it's so bad to the point like I just first watched the Lord of the Rings movies last week, and like my boyfriend had to take my phone away from me so I could pay attention, and like I had like a fidget spinner in my hand the whole time so I could like have something to mess with. But yeah, no, they were really good.
Do fidgets, toys, and stuff help you?
If it's something like where it's like a passive activity where it's like watching a movie, watching TV shows, like listening to a lecture, like, you know, something like that where it's like passive where I just have to sit and pay attention.
Right.
Something to fidget with really does help. If it's like an active activity, I'm usually pretty good about being like, you know, present in the moment. But if it's passive, no, I need something to do.
That's interesting. We're very different in that sense. Then if there's like, I tried using a little fidget cube thing in class, and I realized I paid even less attention because I was so focused on the cube.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, it's like, I don't know. It's just like, I have to be doing something with my hands. Like I have to have some sort of movement. And like, I don't really pay attention to the thing that I'm doing the movement with per se. It's just like the movement is just going on. It's like I bounce my leg all the time and like
right. And people always bring it up. They're like, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yes, I just can't stop."
I'm just a perpetual motion
cannot
machine.
sit still. Yeah, so love that. I feel like I have the stereotypical ADHD. Like when people describe ADHD, they're like, "Oh yeah, you like can never pay attention. You're always moving. Like you never listen." Because like that's another thing is like my friends will tell me something or like, you know, they'll be in a conversation. I'm like completely zoned out. And it kind of sucks. It really does. Because I don't want to be a bad friend, but like at the same time, like, bro, if you're going on and on about something, then I'm just gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
causes a lot of insecurity for me where I'm like, people think I don't care about them or whatever because I never look at them while they're talking, and it's hard for me to just keep. I'm like, wait, what'd you say?
Yep, exactly. Like I promise I'm trying to listen, but
yeah.
Yep.
I think there's been like multiple times I'm just talking to Jacob, and then like halfway through, he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna need you to restart that whole statement."
Yeah, I just tell people all the time, like, "Hey, so here's the thing, I wasn't listening. So if it was important, say it again."
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yep.
That was a fun time. So you worked at Disney. Just transition. That's called a segue.
I did.
What is up with Bryce? I guess it makes sense that these TikTok people would be like Disney affiliated in some way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I have like 3 people coming on that I think worked there or just have an obsession with the
Did
parks.
you work at Disney World or Disneyland?
I did work at Disney World.
Okay.
Yeah, so like here we go. My life story. No, so like I went to college for theater. And I really wanted, when I first came to college, I wanted to be an actor. But then I realized like that sucks. Like it's hard auditioning.
Right,
like being a full-time person who just auditions for things like sucks. So I was like, okay, I still love theater because like I don't know, something about having ADHD and like theater, it always mixes. So I don't know what's up with that, but that's a thing. So rather than doing acting, I switched to design. So I got my degree in lighting design. And I wanted to go to Disney to do design for their live stage shows because I don't know if you've ever been to Disney. They have
I go a lot.
Yeah. So they have like the stage shows all over the parks. Like they have like the Finding Nemo musical, the Frozen sing along, the Beauty and the Beast musical, like all these like different like live stage shows.
Right.
And so I wanted to do like design or like tech for those stage shows because it's theater, but it's like also combining something that I also love, like, Disney. So I was like, okay, I want to do that. So I applied for this program right after like my senior year. I was gearing up to apply for this program, and it was like a really extensive internship program where you would basically do like a technical theater internship, and then that could turn into a job. And I applied. I got through the first round, but I didn't get through the second round, so didn't get it. But then I applied for the Disney college program, and I got into that. So I was like, okay, I'll do the college program. I'll make connections while I'm there. I'll transition my way to full time, and then start, working my way up in the company.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. Like, there's a lot of people who do the Disney college program, and it's kind of like stereotypical, like, I just don't want to do school. I want to go play in Disney, because that's kind of what it is, but it's also a really hard job because you literally work full time.
Yeah, and I hear working for Disney, they're like super duper strict.
Oh my god.
Like if you do like one thing wrong. Like I think I read this online that this guy was like Goofy in like a water show. And they said that if anything went wrong, he had to the safety people would drag him out of the water and then take him backstage before doing any sort of CPR, because they don't want to like interfere with the experience with the families.
Right.
And stuff.
Yeah, I haven't heard that, but I wouldn't doubt it, honestly. Like, they're like so strict about preserving the magic and like character integrity. It's admirable because, like, Disney holds themselves to a really high standard, which is what makes them different from other theme parks. But also at the same time, like, it goes a little far where you're like, really? Come on.
My man's
like,
not breathing, man.
Yeah, like, just save the dude.
Yeah. And like, it's like also like that myth where like nobody can be declared dead on Disney property. Like, that's fake. Like, people will be declared dead on Disney property. They just don't say it. Like, while I was working there was a guy that like killed himself in one of the resorts by jumping off the monorail.
Wow.
I heard about that.
Yeah. It was it was I think like last like November 2019, or it was like around Christmas time. Like, he was at the Contemporary Resort, and that's the one where the monorail goes through, and he like jumped off the monorail like loading area and like killed himself. And like they had the monorail closed like for like a week because of that. But they obviously he died like there. But they just don't say, like, they don't say, hey, somebody killed themselves today in the Disney parks. Like, they just don't.
Yeah, like they don't get on the loudspeakers at the castle. Yeah. Like, hey, everyone, guess what?
Yeah, and like Disney won't report because like Disney has their own like news, like Disney blogs or whatever. They just don't report on that stuff. Like the local Orlando people will report on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, working there was great. Honestly, I miss it so much. I drink the Mickey Mouse Kool-Aid. So like, here's the thing. Like, there's those people that are like, I like to consider myself like an adult who likes Disney. Like, there's like Disney adults, and then there's like adults who like Disney.
Right.
Yeah. Because like I try to think of myself as like the not cringy type, because like I feel like I'm a pretty normal person, other than the fact that like if you walk in my bedroom right now, you're gonna see like I have 2 walls filled with Disney stuff. So like it's like I'm a little like obsessed in that manner, but like every day I don't talk about Disney. I don't like wear solely Disney merchandise. Like I have other personality traits besides Disney.
Yeah, I just thought about it, and technically I also have walls covered in Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Because Marvel and Star Wars
and Marvel. Yeah,
Disney.
Technically. Okay, so if we're going to count Star Wars and Marvel, then I have 3 walls, because I have a wall of Disney ears. I have a wall of all the posters
Disney
and pins.
ears?
Yeah,
like how many how many unique ears are there?
Well, it's the Mickey hats, and then they're
different.
Yeah,
Mickey
I'm wearing
characters.
one in my profile picture.
Yeah, like Perry.
Yeah.
Yes, but like you know how like girls wear those like Minnie Mouse ears that have
the mini ears.
Yes, I have all of those like hung up on my room, like on my wall, and like then I have my name tags, like my 2 Disney name tags like framed. So that's like my like I don't know, like apparel wall, I guess. And then I have like a Star Wars wall with like all my figures and posters and Kylo Ren stuff.
Maybe I just missed it because, again, ADHD. But did you say what you did at Disney?
I haven't. I was leading up to that. But basically, when I first got to the college program, so it's like an internship. You're basically like a frontline cast member, which is like you like work in the theme parks. You do the normal like stuff that any person could apply for. So when I first got there, I worked as merchandise at Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror and Hollywood Studios. So like when you get off rides, there's always like a gift shop.
Yeah.
I exit through the gift shop. I worked in those gift shops. It was so much fun. I didn't like the job just because I've done retail merchandise since I was 16. And when I applied, I really, really put interest in attractions and character attendant. So like attractions is like you're operating the rides.
Yeah, I want to be on the rides.
Yeah. That was like, oh, I wanted to do that so bad. And then character attendant is like you're like Mickey Mouse's handler. You're like making sure kids don't pull off his clothes or punch him in the head or punch him in the dick, like sorry, do I need to be like PG?
No.
Okay, cool. I'm just making sure. But yeah, like I wanted to be a character attendant because like kind of for real, like
just roast Disney. And Mickey.
I know. I mean, honestly,
who's the guy on TikTok that I no longer speak for the company guy?
Oh, the Disneyland guy. He's the one that's like
Youth
super
Pastor
annoying.
Ryan. That's his name.
Yes. Oh my God, he's so.
Yeah. See, I have no clue who this person is because I'm
on
TikTok.
He is like, oh wait, what are you saying?
I'm on TikTok so rarely, and when I'm on, I mean, they're just checking the hundreds of missed messages from memes that people have sent me. Or like scrolling for 5 minutes and realizing like all I have is girls dancing on my For You page. And I'm like, I just want the memes.
That's the problem. You got to like tweak your algorithm.
I'm just not on long enough for it to get to where I want it to be.
And that's like training your algorithm to be memes took me so long because when I first started TikTok, it was just garbage, hot garbage. Like Charlie D'Amelio and what's her name, Addison Rae, just like shaking their white asses. I'm like, come on, like please give me some flavor. Jesus,
I've definitely got some flavor on my For You page, but again, I'd prefer the memes, quite frankly.
Yes, it's like digging for gold. Like you have to sort through all the little gross, muddy pebbles until you find that one nugget. Once you find it, it's perfect. But yeah, no, I worked at Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror. And that was so much fun. It's just that, I worked in retail.
Rest in peace, Tower of Terror.
I know. Well,
it's still kicking at Hollywood Studios.
It's still there at Hollywood Studios, not at Disneyland. But I've heard the Disneyland version is better.
I wrote it. It's fun. I like that ride a lot.
Have you done Tower of Terror?
I have not yet, but I'm going to Disney World in May. So
when in May?
right at the very end, like May. Let's see.
Look at your dates. I'm going from the 16th to the 22nd.
There might be a small overlap.
Oh my god, if there's an overlap, I'm gonna die.
You're gonna collab cosplay.
I know, we gotta do a collab.
Sadly, I am going on the 28th. That's what it is.
Oh,
dang, that's close. That's wild.
Also, I'm the worst because I told you I would like write out all my tips for you, but I haven't done that yet because I keep forgetting.
Tips
and also,
for like cosplay stuff or
no stuff to do at
Disney.
the parks.
Oh.
Disney is like. Oh, go ahead.
It's like oddly for my dad being from Florida and him liking Disney World more. I've been to Disneyland probably more. The last time we went to Orlando, like the Universal and Disney parks, it was 2010 because the Jaws ride was still open. It was a while ago. Ever since then, we've only gone to Disneyland.
Yeah, Disneyland's like some people say Disneyland is better because that's
I like their Space Mountain more. I'll give them that.
I've never been on Space Mountain.
Interesting.
Because the Disney World Space Mountain is a lot more like the Matterhorn, which I don't hate the Matterhorn, but if you've ever ridden that, it breaks your bones.
Yeah, I can see that. I've never ridden it.
I'm afraid of roller coasters.
Stop! You are.
Yeah, I don't. I've ridden quite a few.
Betrayal.
But yeah, I've never ridden Space Mountain because I hear it's dark. And,
it is dark.
I don't want my head to get cut off.
Yeah, it is a little. I don't know. I guess like I'm an adrenaline junkie in the sense that I love roller coasters. Like I will go on roller coasters. So like working there, I had an annual pass to Universal. Because like I was like I lived there and I was like, why not go to Universal? And like the Universal annual pass is cheap. And like I would literally go to Universal by myself some days just to ride like the Hulk and like Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure and Rip Ride Rocket. Like
you've actually gotten on that ride, the mythical line that takes forever to get on.
Yes, I've ridden it 3 times.
Ride?
Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure.
Is that the one outside of the? Oh, okay, never mind.
Which one were you talking about?
I know there's a ride where like there's screens and stuff, and you like hanging and swinging around inside a building.
That's Forbidden.
There's a ride outside of there. I don't know what that one is.
The ride, something of the Hippogriff.
Yeah. I think that's it. I've never had a bad time on a roller coaster, but if I don't have to get on one, then I will not.
Get on the Hulk. It's got you like the Hulk. You can get on that one.
You like the Hulk?
Okay, Bryce always says I like the Hulk. I like all characters, and I have like I've been reading a Hulk series that comes like a comic series that is still running right now. And that's like the extent that I like the Hulk. I know nothing about the Hulk beyond that and the movies.
That's fair.
When you said you like the Hulk, I thought you meant like the roller coaster, so that's why I asked it that way.
My older brother and dad went on that ride last time we went, which was like probably a decade ago, and I was so close to crying
that they went before on the refurbish.
Yeah. I don't know if I've been on the old one or the refurbished one, but I went to Universal and Disney World in like 2008 or so, like when I was in like 6th grade. And like that was when like Fantasyland was like super under construction at Magic Kingdom because they were like building the whole new expansion. And we went to Harry Potter World because we like won a trip to Disney. My brother like won it at like our school's raffle or something. They were doing like a raffle of like a grand prize, and we won it. It was like I know, right? Like we like it was like one of those fundraisers, like where like they're like, oh, you sell chocolate bars, and we'll like, the person who sells the most gets entered into being a whatever. It was like one of those dumb things, and like my brother didn't sell any, so my mom like bought all of them because like because it was like a fundraiser. And so like since she bought all of them, we like were able to be entered into this raffle. So we entered in like just because my brother didn't sell any, and so she just so it was like crazy that we won it. And
you won the Zach and Cody sweepstakes or whatever.
For real, yeah, the sweet life on deck or whatever.
Okay, so this might veer off. This is extremely off topic, but the whole fundraiser like topic reminded me of something. So in school, we were doing a fundraiser for IB, Bryce. So like for this class program that I was in, and it was required. We had to do a fundraiser in our senior year. And what we settled on was selling these socks at I think like $12 for a pack of 3.
That's fitting for you.
Yeah, right. And the money would donate to this charity for like building, I don't know, like these schools in like impoverished countries and like clean water wells and all this stuff. I accidentally stole around $200 from that charity.
Oh my God.
How did you do that?
So we had to check out a certain amount, like a maximum of like 20 socks maybe, right? And I had a bag.
For legal reasons,
she was
this
like,
is a joke.
Yeah, of course. She was like, here's a bag, just put as many pairs of like socks as you can fit in there. And I think I had like 15, maybe something above 10, right? And then we were supposed to sell those and then bring the money back and return the socks that we hadn't sold. So I think I sold like 1 pair.
Oh.
And I gave them the money. And then either I missed the day that we were supposed to bring them back, or I just forgot the socks at home, one or the other. And then after that, I just kept forgetting to bring them. I was like, oh, darn, I knew I forgot something. And then COVID happened, and I still had the socks.
Oh, my gosh.
And then I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I just gave them away.
Oh, my God.
Damn.
So, yeah, that poor charity. Those poor kids.
You fool.
I'm sure I helped somebody, though. Like,
that one pair.
Socks.
Yeah, I mean, like...
And it wasn't just one pair. Each packet was 3 pairs.
I was about to say, I'm like, how is like 15 pack of socks worth like $200?
Yeah.
No, each pack was like 3 pairs of socks. Oh, we were definitely overcharging though. Like I could get
that. Were they these like crazy socks?
Yeah, I also okay. Before I gave the socks away, I took a pack. And I still have them. And the ones I have have tacos. One has chili peppers and the other has avocados.
Were they like really nice socks?
They're nice.
Like,
they're really socks I would wear with like nice clothes.
Okay. Well, then that's I guess.
What are the people running the scene that ran that fundraiser sees you with like avocado socks? And
you're like, wait a minute, you didn't pay for that.
Get over here.
I also have to say I made a poor decision by eating a Popeyes spicy chicken sandwich just now. I'm still eating it.
Oh
Popeyes
my God.
Chicken sandwich.
Oh God.
Is that the one that like the internet was like losing their minds about?
Yeah, it's not like it's not bad. Oh wait. Okay, you live in Austin, right? Is that I think I saw ATX. Okay.
Yep, in Austin.
How long have you lived there?
So I moved here for school. I went to St. Edward's University, which is like it's like a scam. It's not really, but just like
it's not actually a school, it's just like
field. It is. It's a school. It's just like I shouldn't have gone here. Like it was a private Catholic university. I'm not Catholic at all, but like their theater program was really, really good.
Religious schools are the cheaper ones most of the time.
No, this one is not. It was so expensive.
Damn.
And my student loan payments are insane. Like I had to refinance my loans just to be able to like afford to pay them. So like now I'm not gonna like pay them off until I'm like fucking 80. So like
Jesus.
whatever.
Awesome.
I'm just hoping that like the student loan deficit will like happen and like it'll crash and they'll just like wipe everything, you know, kind of like what happened in 2007 with the housing market with the student loan deficit. I'm hoping that's gonna happen. I mean, it might financially ruin me, but like who cares? Like if I don't have to pay my student loans. Anyway, I went to this school in Austin. It's a really nice, pretty school. It's just like it just wasn't worth it. I don't think it was worth it. My theater degree and my theater classes were awesome, but everything else sucked. So yeah, I've lived here. That kind of just sounds
like school. Like
honestly, like your major specific classes are usually the good ones, and everything else sucks. But yeah, like I've lived here since then, and I moved to Florida it was technically 9 months for Disney. So yeah, like I and that sucked because like I literally I graduated. I like said goodbye. I wrapped up everything. I sold a lot of my furniture, a lot of my clothes, a lot of my like knickknacks. I like took everything to my parents' house that I wasn't going to sell, but I couldn't take with me to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
My parents live in Houston. Like I'm originally from Houston.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know. I think we talked about this, Bryce. Is like I remember like one day when we were like friends or something, you made like or when we became mutuals, you posted something about like Texas. And I was like, oh my God, you're in Texas. Where from? And you were like Houston. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, no. So I packed up my life and I like said goodbye to my life in Austin. I fucking moved out to Florida. I worked at Disney. I worked my way up I was like on the brink of going full time. And then fucking Rona, and I had to pack my car. I drove to Florida. Like I drove my car to Florida because like that's a thing. So like the Disney College program, they provide you with housing.
But not transport.
Wait, what?
I said, but not transport.
Yeah. Like so they like provide you with housing, and it's really shitty, expensive housing. Like it's not good quality, but somehow it's so expensive, which that's one of the scams of Disney is like they're charging their interns to live in their housing that they own. Like Disney owns these properties, yet they make us pay rent, which is like
that's
very
sketch.
fucked up. It's very sketch. And so I drove to Florida so I could have my car while I was living there. Because if you live there, you have the option of like Disney buses. Like Disney will take you to work. However, those buses are like notorious for catching on fire and for being like the most garbage buses. I'm not kidding.
Actually, you're not even wrong. We had a trip to Disney with our class. Our sophomore year for orchestra. And they didn't catch on fire, but they were unreliable and just smelt of feces half the time. Like they were just gross. Anyway,
yeah.
Of course, my group was sat near the back of the bus, and I'm like, stinks.
Yeah, like the ones that they had, they weren't even like Disney brand buses. They were Transtar, which is like a shitty, like I'm pretty sure it's like a bus company from like the 80s or some dumb shit. But I don't know. They sucked and they caught on fire all the time and it was awful. So
yes, I drove my car.
I know, right?
I thought you were an adrenaline junkie. Like you should want to be in a bus on fire.
I don't know if like that kind of adrenaline, like being late to work,
like
that's
literal life-threatening late to work.
Yeah.
Adrenaline.
Well, like people would be like late to work because the buses would catch on fire or break down, and like they're so strict about attendance. So like if you're late, like you can get in serious trouble. So like, all these interns, like college age interns who like are like flying down or like, and they had like an international program too. So like they would have people from like other countries work at the pavilions in Epcot, or like, like I had a girl from the UK like working at Rock and Roller Coaster with me. So like, they could just work anywhere. But like these international students who like rely on the buses and like they just break down and like make you late to work, like that's not their fault. Like they don't have any other transportation than the buses. Yeah. So like it's kind of shitty. So yeah, but like I moved my entire life out there and it really sucks to have to move back to Austin. Like I start somewhere new, so just kind of sucks. I'm still emo about it, but it is what it is, I guess.
Okay, so how, on a scale of 1 to 10 though, how would you rate your liking of Austin?
Oh man, I'd say when I first moved here, it was like a solid 8 or 9. Okay. Like being like a student in Austin, like my freshman year of college was like one of the best years of my life. Like that was so much fun. Like I don't know, just like coming to a new city, like having, because like I don't know, I'm definitely like a party person too. Like I used to go to like all the like UT like frat parties with my roommates. We would like go and like had fake IDs and we would like go to 6th Street and like party and like man, that was so much fun. Yeah, I don't really do that anymore. I'm like retired from that. I'm like too old. I say I'm too old, but I'm fucking 24. Jesus Christ. But yeah, like it was so much fun, and like I don't know, just like getting to explore a new city. And like the thing about Austin is like it's a city, but it's like a really small city.
Yeah.
Like it's because like yeah, because like Houston, it's fucking huge. And like growing up in Houston, like okay, I lived in Friendswood, so I didn't really grow up in Houston. Like I live like 45 minutes out of Houston, but like the suburbs, you know.
Yeah,
but like
same here. Yeah.
yeah. So like going to Houston, it's like a whole ordeal. Like you have to like drive downtown, then you have to like find somewhere to park, and then like, oh, like I want to do this thing, or like, oh, I want to go to this coffee shop, but it's like 30 minutes away because like even like the metro area of Houston is fucking large. Like it's just insane.
It's like that whole New York thing, where like if you live a little bit out of New York, you just claim New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
for real.
Houston, definitely.
Exactly. Like, you know, people are like, oh, where are you from? Like, I'm not going to say fucking Friendswood. I'm like, oh, Friendswood, Texas. They're going to be like, where the fuck is that? Like, you know, like I always said Houston because like, you know, so.
But yeah, Austin is so I think I was in Austin over spring break.
Yeah.
And I walked from like South Campus up to like closer towards, I guess, I don't know, like central Austin, like North Campus, like just north. It took us like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Walking.
Like it's so like it's really well sized. Like you can comfortably walk places. However, like current Austin, I'd give it like maybe like 5 or 6 just because of how gentrified it's getting. Like my like a hair salon that I used to go to all the time was like the coolest hair salon. They did like I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but I've had like every single hair color under the sun.
Yeah, I've seen
pink. Yes, I had like pink, green, blue, purple, like all sorts of colors. And my old hair salon where I used to go get like all of my crazy colors got torn down because they built like a fucking like a huge like
lots of high rises
complex. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even a high rise. It's that stupid like 5/1 architecture where it's like the storefronts on the bottom level and then apartments above and like where nobody can fucking afford to live there. There are so many of those now. Like so many of my favorite like restaurants and shops and like places have just gotten like torn down to make these stupid apartment buildings, and they're ugly and nobody can afford to live there, and they're cheap, and it's the worst. It's the worst. So like the Austin that I used to know is like definitely different, and it's gone because of fucking Elon Musk.
I feel like it's gonna happen to us soon because they're building an Amazon warehouse near us. It's like,
are you still in Houston?
Yep. Well,
where in Houston?
North Spring.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's probably in like. Fucking Elon's like making everyone like he's trying to encourage everyone to move to Austin and fucking Brownsville. I'm like,
a lot of people from California are coming to Texas.
I hate it. Like,
yeah, Joe Rogan's in Austin now, isn't he?
He is. Oh my god, he is. And my friend checked him out.
Man.
My friend checked him out at Trader Joe's the other day, and she said that he was such a dick. He was like an asshole.
What a surprise!
Yeah,
he's Joe Rogan. Like, are you?
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
She was like, I tried to like ask him like, hi, how are you? And he was like, he like didn't even respond. And then she said like his wife was like insanely beautiful, like way too good for him. I'm like, oh yeah, I bet. Like he just looks like a fucking rock. Like you know that that meme where it's like you dead built like a baked bean. Like that's how I picture him.
Right. So just imagine checking out Joe Rogan. He's like, you ever tried DMT?
This is the second podcast where we talked about Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan comes. I mean, Joe Rogan is such a character, and he's cemented in like American history, like American modern pop culture. He was Fear Factor, MMA, now the Joe Rogan podcast where he gets literally everyone on.
Literally every single person.
Or not anymore though, because he moved to Austin. What famous people do you know that live in Texas?
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, but okay, what are you going to get one person on? Matthew McConaughey. Nobody wants to listen to Matthew McConaughey talk for 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's
a rumor that Kanye West owns like one of the big penthouses at like one of the high rises downtown.
Huh.
So I wouldn't be surprised. Like I wouldn't put it past Kanye.
Whatever happened with him and Kim?
They're getting a divorce.
Yeah, why? What happened? Were they just like built different?
I guess.
Just didn't work out. God. Or is there like
Do y'all
more
hear
stuff?
that?
Kind of. I wasn't sure what is going on.
There are people painting my apartment building, and they're like covering the windows in plastic, and like I'm sitting like right behind, like there's a window right behind me.
No, I heard someone like
don't want to
talking.
turn around. Yep.
Oh,
Yep, here we go.
Oh, the
Yeah.
reason I asked about Austin though is that when I went there, like everyone I hung out with, whether it was my friends or like strangers, felt obligated to mention that Torchy's Tacos comes from Austin.
Oh my god.
Are you do you stand Torchy's?
No, it's not even that good. Like you can literally like people who are obsessed with Torchy's are just fucking uncultured and have never had like Mexican street tacos made by actual Mexicans,
Exactly.
you know? Like you can find so many like okay, they look sketchy, but like mostly people call them sketchy because they're white and they've like never experienced like a street taco truck.
I'm gonna
like
disagree because as Hispanic who goes and gets street tacos in those sketchy areas, I will support the statement that they're sketchy. It's scary. Sometimes I'm scared.
I don't know, but I've never. Okay. I guess I always go there during the day, and like I always have friends. But like,
I've only been there at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't help.
I think just at night.
It's like in a pitch black neighborhood. Across the street is a building with a tree growing out of it. Like this place that I go to regularly. A tree is growing out of a hole in the roof. And the only light is at that taco stand and some like
oh my gosh
decaying street lights.
You're going to like the Evil Dead cabin for your tacos.
It's like just north of Houston, like where they put bars on the church windows.
Oh, okay.
That's the kind of neighborhood we're talking about. Okay.
It's so good.
Yeah, there's this one that I go to that's like outside of a gas station, and it's like a little truck, and like it's on South Congress, which is like the main
South Congress is sick.
Yeah, it's like on South Congress near St. Edwards, because like St. Edwards is off of South Congress, but it's like South Congress. The South Congress that people like talk about for like shops and like, you know, like restaurants and stuff is like closer to downtown. So if you go to like South Congress, like closer to the highway, that's where this taco truck is. And like, oh my God, it's so good. Like they're cash only, and like their menus like written on the side of the truck, like in like hand marker. And it's like, oh, it's so good. Like the barbacoa one is like amazing. I know I'm saying that wrong.
There's
it's
close enough. There's a Torchy's Tacos on South Congress.
There is. And that, like, don't get me wrong, Torchy's is really good, but like it's
I've never had it. I told everyone like, yeah, it's good. That's crazy that it's German, but I've never had it.
The only thing that I think that is good from there is what's like the hillbilly cheese dip stuff, which it's a typical like queso dip with sausage in there, but it has guac mixed in it. That's pretty decent.
Yeah.
I like that. And chorizo.
Yeah, it's good. It's just like that one. The like they have like the Austin American Statesman has like a queso like contest every year.
Ooh.
And that has won the queso contest like a couple times. And I'm like, are you kidding? Like there's so much. I don't know. It's just like
there's better queso, but
there's better queso that's made with like real like Mexican recipes, not just like some like Austin transplant who's like, oh, I know everything there is to know about street tacos. Like, you know, I love Austin. It's just so pretentious. Like, that's the thing.
I can't wait for all of my Austinite friends to listen to this. Half of me agrees, and half of me is like, dude, this is sick. Like when I've gone, I'm like, this is great. Like I could totally move here.
Yeah, it still is great. You just like get to those parts. Like South Congress is so much fun. Like that's where I take people when they're coming to visit Austin for the first time.
Yeah, that's where everyone took me.
Yeah.
This is my fourth time, but it's still so cool.
It's so fun, and there's so many like eclectic shops and like, you know, little like niche like, you know, markets and stuff. And it is really cool, but like just there's like an air of pretentiousness with all the fucking Californians and all the dumb like hipster girls. And I'm like, can we just like please be like real people? Also, another thing, I was driving down South Congress the other day to go get food because there's a restaurant you know Chewy's. I fucking love Chewy's. I know it's not real Mexican food, but it's Tex-Mex, and I love Tex-Mex, and like they have those giant fucking margaritas, and I fucking love going there because I can get like lit off of like one of those. But yeah, I was driving down South Congress to go to Chewy's, and these fucking Californians, I don't know if they're Californians, and I'm just assuming because they're all dressed like, that style of like, I can't describe it, but it's like the way that people dress.
Valley Girl type.
Yes, like Valley Girl, like, I don't know. So they're all walking down South Congress, and none of them are wearing masks. I'm like, y'all, there's a fucking pandemic. Like, still wear your mask. I don't care if you have a vaccine. Like, wear a mask. Like, And I just like, it makes me so frustrated because like all these like people are like, oh, I'm on vacation. Like, I don't need to, like, we're outside. Like, ugh. But like with how many people are there, it just frustrates me. Like, and like I work in the medical fields. Like since I lost my job at Disney, I got a job with an urgent care.
Nice.
So like, yeah, like it's a really good job and I really like it. But like now working in the medical field, like this is like, I don't know. I feel like people are still taking it kind of lightly. Like, yeah, the vaccines are great, but like there's also
you're in, man. Come on, now you're just being lazy.
Yeah, and like there's all those strains that are coming out, like the new mutations of COVID that are kind of scary. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's a little that kind of like pretentiousness where it's like, I don't need to wear a mask. Like, I'm on vacation. Ugh, that's my rant. I don't know where we're going from here.
Me neither. Heated. I don't really know what to segue into.
I was going to segue into, you also listed audience control as part of your job description. I feel like that has some interesting stories.
Okay, so this is going to get to the part where, like, if you want to hear, like, the worst things that ever happened to me while I was working at Disney, this is it. This is also, like, one of, like, the hardest jobs to do in Disney. So okay, with the Disney College program, you can extend your program. So my program was supposed to be from August to January, like 1st or 2nd. Like I was supposed to leave like right after the new year. But since Disney loves cheap labor, they and the interns are cheap labor. By the way, Disney doesn't fully pay our paychecks when you do the Disney College program. It's sponsored by the state of Florida. So because it's like an education grant, since it's technically like a college internship. So the state of Florida pays half of our paycheck and then Disney pays the other half. So
that's crazy.
Much, like, it's insane. Like we do get a full like paycheck. We get like we don't get paid as much, or we don't get paid as much as normal cast members. Normal cast members make $15 an hour, whereas the interns make $11 an hour. But while I was there, they bumped it up to $12. So that's pretty good. But keep in mind we still have to pay rent with that, so like that's fucked up. So yeah, you can extend your program to be there longer than you're supposed to, and me like being fully drinking the Mickey Kool-Aid, I extend my program. I acknowledge
like the way that sounds, drinking the Mickey Kool-Aid.
That's Cali.
No, Dole Whip's in they have Dole Whip in Disney World. That's what I'm trying to say.
Did you forget where you worked?
I don't know. I forgot what I always say like Magic Kingdom, but like Magic Kingdom is also technically Disneyland. So
really, it's Disney World Magic Land.
Yeah, it's Disney World's Magic Kingdom.
That's cringe. Like nobody's gonna call it that ever.
Yeah, I know. But like, if you get those like pretentious Disney snobs,
if you've been to both, they're pretty much like the same thing. Just
they are. Yeah, I mean, Magic Kingdom in Disney World is so much bigger.
Because they have just infinite land.
Because it's Disney World.
Yeah, it really is a world. But yeah, no, I drank the Kool-Aid and I extended my program. So I liked merchandise, but like I said earlier, like I had done retail for so long, like it actually felt like a job to me. And like there were mornings like towards the end, like in like November and December, where I would wake up and like dread going into work because like it's the same kind of shit that I had been doing like forever that I was trying to get out of. Like I worked at Forever 21.
Retail again, but just it's in a nicer place.
Literally, that's it. It's retail, but in Disney. Like I'd worked at Forever 21 from like when I was 16 to when I was 19. Then I worked I worked at Lush Cosmetics from when I was 19 to when I was like my senior year. And I remember in my interview, they were asking me like, what's a time at work where you had like done teamwork or like, those dumb interview questions. And I was like trying to branch it off like away from my experience with retail. I was trying to be like, oh, well, in theater, as a theater major, like theater is a very collaborative art. So like we have to do teamwork all the time. And then they'd be like, yeah, but tell me a time about when you worked at Lush. I'm like, I don't want to because I know you're asking me this because you want to put me in merchandise. And sure enough, they put me in merchandise. So
Yay.
yeah, at the end, it was fine. It was cool. Like working at Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster was fun because like sometimes after the park closed, we would get to ride the rides like with the lights on, and like just like have like cast rides. Like that was really fun, but it wasn't very often. But when I extended, they gave you the option to switch your role from like what you're currently doing to something else. So I was like, bet I am gonna switch my role. I'm done with merchandise. So I put attractions as my priority with character attendant because those are the two that I wanted in the first place. And then they put me in parade audience control, which is not really attractions, but it's filed under attractions for whatever reason.
That's a stretch.
Yeah, it really is. So basically what parade audience control is we are the parade control. So we clear the streets for the parades. We put up all the ropes and stanchions for like viewing areas, for like fireworks, for parades. We monitor the parades. So like when the parades are going on, like we have to like watch the crowds and make sure nobody is going to run into the street. Because believe it or not, little kids seeing their favorite characters on a float makes them want to run
like
in the street.
Security.
Basically, we were like basically security.
Yeah, that's such a stretch. What?
I don't know. It's attractions because it's like safety critical in the sense that like we're responsible for the safekeeping of guests during the shows.
Make sure the Maleficent Dragon isn't burned down.
Exactly. Like yeah, when the Maleficent Dragon caught on fire, like that was I wasn't there for that. That was like a year before I started. But I'm sure that was like a time for those cast members. But yeah, no, that was like I honestly had so much fun doing that role because it didn't really feel like work. The schedule of our day, I was always the afternoon. I never worked in the mornings. If you worked in the mornings, you worked like the Main Street trolley show, which is where they have like the the old timey like dancers come out and do the dance on the trolley with the horse and everything. But that's like all the old people would always work that one, like the full-time cast members who were older, they would always bid for that shift, and none of the young people ever worked that. So the day in the life of me for parade audience control, we would get there around like my shift would start around like 1:30, usually like 1:30 or 2. We would clock in and then we would go upstairs for our parade meeting. And the parade meeting is like, okay, like today, this is how many people are in the park. We need to set up the ropes and stanchions at this time, blah, blah, blah. And then we would like get assignments. Like they'd be like, okay, you're going to stand in this position on Main Street. You're going to stand in this position. And we'd get our positions and then we would go out and like set everything up. And then like while the parade's going on, the shitty thing about this is like, you can't watch the parade. You have to be watching the audience or like the guests. Yeah. So because like we need to be like monitoring the crowd to make sure nobody's standing in the street, nobody's like kids are like sitting on laps in a way that could like put them in danger if a parade float were to like veer off. So we just have to like monitor the audience, like make sure like nobody's standing in the street or whatever. So you have to be like watching the crowd while the parade goes by, which is like it kind of sucks because like the parades are so cool and it's really hard to not pay attention to them because these floats are incredible. So yeah, that was it for the parades, and then we would go and have our lunch break, and then after that we would do the other parade, Move It, Shake It, Mouse Could Dance It. That one was really fun. It was like kind of a bullshit parade. It was like the floats would come out and like just sit, and then there'd be like a little dance party like in front of the castle, and then they go back.
Stage, if anything.
Yeah, they just stand there, and we would just have to like make sure the kids don't climb up onto the floats with the characters, because they would invite like everyone into the street. It was like a street party, like like Mickey's he's on his float and he's inviting everyone to come dance in the street with him, and like that's really what it was. So you'd have to just like make sure nobody climbed up and like tried to like grab Mickey or anything. So that was easy. And then we would do fireworks, and fireworks fucking sucked. Like fireworks was the worst.
Why?
So fireworks, Disney fireworks are famous for being like incredible, and like there's like giant shows that have like
rides. That's annoying.
Yeah, they like closed Fantasyland for the fireworks because of like where they shoot off and everything. And like when you watch a commercial for going to Disney World, like there's always a clip of like some little kid on a dad's shoulders watching the fireworks, like that's like a Disney staple is the fireworks. So the thing with fireworks is like we can't let people stand wherever they want. We have to have emergency walkways because like say a guest like say they're like super claustrophobic and they're like in the crowd and then they have a panic attack, like we need to have like a walkway for paramedics or for security to get there. Same thing like if like somebody's gonna have a heart attack, like we need to have a way for security and paramedics to get to them. And people don't like being told that you can't stand there. That's kind of the same for the parades, except not like at such a large like extent. Like the parades also had emergency walkways, but they were like places that were really shitty to stand anyway. Like, you know, if you were to stand in the emergency walkway, you wouldn't have a good view.
Yeah.
But for fireworks, like most of the walkways were really, really good views. And it really
I mean, it's hard to get a bad view of fireworks.
For real. Yeah. And like the whole area in front of the castle like has a really good view anyway. And there was this whole walkway that like has these ledges that are like perfect for sitting on. But that whole walkway, like it's like a whole part of the whole like plaza that like is completely shut down for an emergency walkway. So we would get out there, like we would get our fireworks positions, like we would have like little stations around the whole plaza. And we would have to like tell guests like when we walked out for our positions, like, hey, fireworks start at 8. I know it's 6 o'clock. We're gonna need to have this area clear by 6:30 to get ready. And they're like, oh, we can't sit here for the fireworks. And I'm like, no, unfortunately, this is an emergency walkway. That's when like the Karens would come out and they'd be like, are you kidding? I've been sitting here since 5 p.m. waiting for a spot for the fireworks. And we're like, unfortunately, like this is an emergency walkway. We do have to keep this area clear just in case security or paramedics need to get to the crowd. I apologize. This is going to be a great viewing area if you'd like.
It's like everyone's a Karen there, and it's also like later in the day, so they're all tired and sweaty.
Yes. That's literally it. And like people always complain like, well, I can't stand for the fireworks. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, like you can, you know, there's like some benches way at the back of Main Street. I mean, you're not going to have a good view of the castle, but you can see the fireworks. And they're like, well, why do you make everyone stand? I'm like, it's literally for safety, and it's also so that we have room for everyone to see. Like, you know, like if everyone's sitting, everyone's going to be spread out.
Yeah, if you can't stand during the fireworks, that honestly sounds like quite the personal problem.
Yeah, for real. So this is where like most of the problems happened. Are they gone? I was sitting in my closet the whole time, like trying to get away from these people who are working on my apartment.
Good acoustics.
Yeah, I know. But it was cramped in there. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but there was just like so many Karens. So I wish I could like show y'all. Oh wait, you know what? I'm gonna post it in the thing. I'm gonna pull up a map of the hub, the plaza, because there's these two gardens that are perfect for watching fireworks. They're like these little like gardens that are they call them the hub. You might see that on like Disney stuff as like the hub grass.
Let me just see.
Hang on, I'm gonna pull it up. Here we go. Okay, I got it.
I've been there enough. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So those little gardens are perfect for. Oh wait, this is an old one.
What is it? What am I supposed to be looking up?
Hang on.
If you've ever seen, you know, like there's that statue of Mickey and Walt Disney.
Yeah.
There's like a little garden around that area.
Yes, those gardens are perfect for watching the fireworks, and those gardens are specifically reserved for like dining packages. So they sell these like fireworks dining packages. Like they're like, it's super overpriced, but like it's a good idea. Like you can buy. Here we go. I just put it in the server, the map. But if you click on it, like right in front of the castle, you see that like wheel, and then kind of further south are those two gardens that have like concrete in them.
Yeah.
Those gardens are the dining package gardens, and they literally have the perfect view. But those are for dining packages. Basically, you like buy dinner. It like comes with dinner and priority viewing for the fireworks. So those are reserved for those people who buy those packages.
How much does that cost?
Some of them are like $95 a person. Others are like $200 a person. It really just depends on the package that they have going. Honestly, depending. Yeah, it's really expensive. Like they have, like if you want to spend your money, they have everything for you to spend your money on. like you name it, they have it.
I want to like get rich enough and just live there, and that's
I
the
know.
end goal.
Oh, I wanna move back to Orlando so bad. But yeah, they have those dining packages, and they're kind of awesome. So like people will come up to the gardens. One of the positions is working the gate for those, and people will come up and be like, "Can we sit in here?" I'm like, "No, I'm sorry, that's reserved for a dining package." And they're like, "Well, why are those people sitting?" And I'm like, "Because they bought the priority seating." And they're like, "Well, where can I sit to watch these?" I'm like, "Unfortunately, this is a standing show for your safety, so you would have to stand. There's benches at the end of Main Street, blah blah blah." And just people get so entitled, you know, like you see that thing of like, I paid however much to be here, I deserve to do this.
Everyone paid that much to be here.
Yes, exactly. It's like so annoying.
No one came here for free. It's Disney.
Yeah. So one of the guest stories that I have, I was working a walkway.
Here we go.
So back on this map, you'll see the walkway that's like immediately south of that those gardens. That's the one that's closed off for emergencies.
Like Main Street, or do you mean?
No, it's like the one that runs like east to west.
Okay, between 79 and 11.
Yeah, it's like between 11 and 9.
Right.
On the map, it's that one like tan one, like right in front of the buildings.
Yeah.
That one is the one that's reserved for emergencies. So I was working that walkway, and during the show we have to close it down. Like nobody can enter or exit through there because security is like stationed in there. And they like, you know, do the rounds, and like that's like basically where security stands if we need them during the show. So, you know, if something happens, we need to grab security, a cast member will run in there and get them, you know, that way we're not having to like fight through the crowd. That's also where we have like paramedics stationed. So yeah, that's like the main emergency walkway. If there's an emergency, you go there to get security, paramedics, or like to get from one end of the hub to the other, because that entire like all of that area that you see like on the map in front of the castle is completely jam packed with people.
Oh yeah.
And we have like specific we have specific areas where you can stand. We go out. That's another thing about this job is we go out ahead of time and we tape the ground. We put like big strips of like bright white tape of where you can stand and where you can't, like where is walkway and where is viewing. Also for the sense that like people are going to leave the park during the fireworks, because like after the fireworks there's always like a rush of people leaving. And so people will make a note to leave during the fireworks to get out quicker before the rush of transportation. So like if anyone was standing wherever they wanted to stand, nobody would be able to leave, and like, you know, it's going to be pandemonium. So it's like kind of for organization, it's also for safety. So this woman had this walkway closed. She was really, really pissed because she wanted to sit in that area. That's the walkway that has the perfect ledges, because those gardens, like the gates or the fence for the gardens is like, they have these like concrete things at the base, and then the fence runs on top of it. And they have this like ledge that's like perfect for you to sit on. But unfortunately, that's the emergency walkway. Sorry, you can't sit there and watch the fireworks. This lady was so upset that she would not or that I would not let her go and sit over there. And she literally pulled the biggest like Karen fit I've ever seen.
She pulled the manager card.
She literally did. I'm not kidding, because she was like, I know Bob Iger. I am friends with Bob Iger. I will report you. And I was like, okay. I was like, my name's Lucinda. Yeah, I was like, my name's Lucinda. I work at Parade Audience Control. I'm the only Lucinda. If you want to tell Bob Iger that I wouldn't let you sit there, please be my guest. Like, I'm sure he'll understand. And she, like, I literally told her, because like, of course she's not going to fucking do that. Like, anytime anyone asked for my name, like, I was always like, yeah, my name's Lucinda. My last name's Culver if you want it. Like, I do this, like, you know, because I'm fucking doing my job. Like, I'm not going to get in trouble for doing my job.
They probably lack the brain power to even remember your name.
Literally. But that she was just the thing about her, the thing why I remember her is because she was like, I know Bob Iger, and I will make sure you don't have a job by the end of the week.
I grew up with Mickey Mouse. I will call
him. Oh my God. But yeah, I like directed her to one of the taped off areas. I was like, you can stand right over there and watch the fireworks. Like, it is a really great spot. And like, there was some room in it, but like, she was like, no, I have to sit. I have a condition. And I'm like, unfortunately, it is advertised as a standing show. Like it's listed on the website and on the maps, like everything. You do have to stand for this show. I apologize. Like, that's just the rules. We do have rules. she's freaking out. So that's one of the things. My other big guest story is like I was working the parade, and that's the one where we use a lot of ropes and stanchions for. Is we'll rope off sections rather than taping, just because we don't really have a lot of time in the morning to do the taping for taping off areas. We do it for fireworks because like in the afternoon, when the time frame when we do the taping, it's when people are either leaving the park to go like take a nap, or they're at dinner. It's like a low volume time, so like that whole area in front of the castle is pretty empty. Not like always super empty, but there's less people there. So we can't only use tape for the parades just because of how many people are getting ready for the parades, how many people are in the park at that time. So we'll use the ropes and stanchions then. And I had set up my rope and stanchion for a viewing area, and I was clearing the walkway. So basically like we divide this like sidewalk in half. Like the front half that's close to the street is for parade viewing. The back half is for walkway. And I was doing my normal thing. I was like, hi, folks, if you're looking for, viewing for the parade, it's going to be inside the rope. Otherwise, just keep moving through the walkway. And the parade had started. The music comes on. They like make this big announcement, like as it's coming down the street, like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Festival of Fantasy Parade. And that's when like the scramble happens. People will like scramble for places. And like, that's when people will like shove in front of other people and like cut in front of little kids. Like sometimes we have to be a referee too, as if like families like step in at the last moment and like stand in front of a family. Like that's kind of messed up. And like a lot of times when they do it, they're like not fully inside the tape, and I'll walk up and I'll be like, hi, if you're not fully inside the tape, unfortunately you can't stand here. It is a safety hazard. Like we do have this area clear. And then they like scoff at me and walk off. And I'm like, yeah, like, sorry, that's the rules. And also you cut in front of that family. I'm not going to let that happen. So I was doing my thing, clearing the walkway. The music had just started and the scramble happened and I was ready. But what I wasn't ready for was this like group of fucking Bostonians.
Oh no.
And they're from Boston. So like they're going to be fucking rude. They walk up and they're making a big crowd behind the rope, like in the walkway. And like people were trying to walk, like, like people are trying to get to other parts of the park. And like, I'm like, bro, this is a walkway. And I walked up and I was like, hi, folks. Unfortunately, this is a walkway. You do have to be inside the rope to view the parade. If there's no room, unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask you to walk all the way down Main Street. There should be more room down there. And they looked at me and then they just kept watching. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give it like 2 minutes. Like a lot of people like to pretend that you don't exist with parade audience control. They'll just like flat out ignore you. Which like, it doesn't really work because like, that's my job. And like, also like I can get security. Like I'll just get security. You'll listen to security. Yeah.
Bob Iger, don't make me.
Yeah, for real. I will call Bob Iger. I have him on speed dial. And like, most people aren't going to listen to like a college girl wearing a dumb vest. Like you should see the costume I had to wear for this. It was crazy. But yeah, so we would tell them to leave, and then like if they'd ignore us, you give it a couple more minutes. So I gave it a couple more minutes and I walked up and I was like, hi folks, if you're not finding room inside the rope, I am going to need you to move all the way down Main Street. This is a walkway. We just can't have anyone standing here for safety reasons. And they were like, why? And I was like, just because this is a walkway.
For safety reasons.
Yeah, for safety. Like people need to get to and from. And they're like, well, there's nowhere to stand. I'm like, okay, if you just walk all the way down Main Street. And they're like, I'm not walking all the way down there. And I was like, I'm sorry, like, that's the only area for viewing that's left. Like, you can either walk there or I am going to have to get security. And they were like, oh, okay, we'll go get security then. So I was like, oh my God, okay. So I start walking to get security, and then this other family pops up. And then while I'm getting security and like my coordinator, like my boss, this other family pops up and they're like, oh yeah, well, why aren't you telling them to move? And then I was like, I'm about to get to it. I have to deal with you guys first. So like the security guy and my coordinator come up and they're like, hey folks, like you do have to move. And I'm like, she's only bitching at us. She's not bitching at them. And like, they started yelling at me, like cussing, like, oh, you fucking bitch, you narc. Like, why don't you tell the people to move off? Like,
Jesus Christ.
And like, that was just like the worst timing for that family to be there. And thankfully that other family was kind of like respectful. I was like, hey guys, I'm so sorry. Like, I do have to ask you to move. And they're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. We just didn't know there was a parade at this time. I was like, yeah, there is. If you move all the way down that way, like there should be more viewing area. And they're like, okay, thanks. Like, you know, like a normal person. But these like other people were like just fucking rude. I don't remember exactly what they said, but there were definitely some bitches and some fuckings like throw it out.
That
so, like,
sounds so funny.
Yeah, it was the worst. So like those are the two like worst interactions I've had. I've definitely like cried before from that role just because of like how much I got yelled at, like humiliated by guests. But it didn't feel like a job like the other one did. Like it was like more like a, I don't know, it was more like a I don't know how to describe it. It was an experience. Yeah, it was definitely an experience because like it was so much fun and like I didn't feel like I was doing, I mean, it was kind of work, but like
not to the same extent that
not to the same extent.
Retail is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's an unusual job.
It was a very unusual job. And like so many people would like quit from that job. Like I had a friend who did it while I was doing merchandise. She was doing audience control. And she would come home like over to our apartment all the time and she'd be like, oh man, like PAC today was so rough. It's called PAC, like we abbreviated as PAC, like Parade Audience Control, PAC. She'd be like, oh my God, PAC today was so awful. Like I want to quit. I hate it so bad. But I liked it. Like yelling at people was kind of fun. Not yelling at people, but like I only yelled at people when they wouldn't listen, you know, like, hey folks, like, and it would always be like a polite way of yelling, but it'd be like kind of passive aggressive. I'd be like, hi folks, you do need to be inside the tape to view the fireworks. Or hi folks, you do need to move all the way down. Uniform.
Is it this one?
Yes, that's actually the train station. You just switch the color of the bow tie and the vest. My vest was red and my bow tie was like dark blue. But yes, it's essentially that. So we would wear that and we would carry around these things that look like mini lightsabers. They were like glow wands. So they like, you see them, like police officers have them when they're like directing traffic, like those like glow
like
wands.
The things that the
like
air traffic people.
Yes, exactly like those. Yeah, we would carry around those to like direct traffic at night.
That sounds kind of fun, actually.
Yeah, I really, really liked it. And like all of my leaders and coordinators were amazing. Like my coworkers were so awesome. Yeah, like I loved that job so much. If I was to go back, I would do that or character attendant. Actually, the best part about audience control was being a parade escort. Oh my God. And that was like, you would randomly get assigned that position. The way we got like assigned our positions for the day was we would like clock into the computer and then like, it'd be like, okay, you're clocked in, now get an assignment. And you'd hit the get assignment button. And it would just give you like a random position to be for the parade or for the fireworks. And if you were lucky, there were 2 parade escort spots, and that is the most coveted parade position. Because what you do for parade escort is you literally walk with the parade. You were the first part of the parade. You walk like 50 feet in front of the parade, and basically they call it like the last line of defense. Like everyone is supposed to be behind the ropes at that time, like when the parade's coming down the street. So you just have to make sure that everyone is officially behind the ropes. Everyone's like ready to go for the parade. And yeah, you just walk. Like that's it. You just walk for like 30 minutes. And then before the parade even like happens, you're sitting backstage, like filling up water cups for the performers and people who are like going to come off.
Nice.
So that was the best position. And that was so much fun. There's a video on YouTube of me, as a parade escort. And that's the video of the parade that I watch all the time whenever I get sick, like, you know, like homesick for that parade. I'll go and watch that video because I'm in it, because it's like me right in front of the performers. It's really cool.
But it's spliced a clip in at this point or something.
Yeah, well, because like we would walk like 50 feet in front of, I don't know if you've ever seen the Festival of Fantasy Parade.
I probably have.
Okay, they have like those dancers that lead it off. So the first part of the entertainment part of the parade is like these dancers that are in these like really pretty like ball gowns. Because it's like a princess parade basically. They have these really pretty ball gowns. So we would walk like 50 feet in front of them. And so anytime like a video is on of YouTube, or like anytime there's a video of the parade on YouTube, most of the time the parade escorts are in there because like, you know, the parades are coming down the street and they'll start it a little early. But yeah, no, that was like such a fun job. Yeah. Okay. I'm done. I talked forever. I'm so sorry.
I mean, this was anticipated. I mean,
that is quite frankly the purpose of a podcast.
I know, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I talk too much sometimes. Like I never get.
No, you're good.
for other people to talk.
Oh yeah, way too much.
I would ideally, because you said you wanted to work at attractions. Just what I've seen from videos, God, I want to work Rise of the Resistance as a first order member. You just get to be an asshole to the guests. That just seems so fun.
Me too. Oh my God, I want to work there so bad.
Like that just looks awesome. Cool. Just like get on.
Yeah, like you purposefully get to be mean, and like it's like a bit, and like I love joking with them. Have you ridden it yet?
No, I'll hopefully get on in May.
Oh,
last time I went was like barely a couple months before Galaxy Edge opened in Disney.
Okay.
When I went.
Oh, so you've never been to Galaxy's Edge?
No.
Oh my God, you're gonna have so much fun. Are you gonna build a lightsaber? Do you have a reservation?
I don't think so yet. I want to build a saber, but also I like the legacy sabers. I'm in a debate with that.
Yeah, the legacy sabers are really cool. I think the experience, like you're paying for the experience when you build a lightsaber.
Yeah,
because like the legacy sabers are cheaper, but like the show, because there's like a show, like when you build a saber, like I don't want to spoil it just in case you do it, but like the show is so cool. So
sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome. Okay, somebody else say something.
Jacob sounded like he was trying to transition into something, and
I don't even remember what if I was. I don't remember saying anything, honestly.
Oh, I remember. So I was just for a video from forever ago. So is there? I've heard that there's some sort of Disney cast member hierarchy. Like face actors tend to be like the preppiest kind of bitchy characters, and then costumes are like underneath that.
Yes, 100%. Face characters just think they're the hot shit. Like face characters get their ego inflated by like all the guests who come. They're like, oh my God, Cinderella, I think you're so gorgeous. Like, you know, like I want to be a face character so bad, but also I kind of don't, just because like I'm scared that I'll turn into a bitch. But I don't know, like with my party princess stuff, like, and with my history in theater, I feel like I could do it. And like everyone tells me I look like Snow White. So like
I was going back in your videos, I'm like, it's pretty good. It's good.
Yeah, cosplay. Like I would Snow White and like Anna are the two that I get told I look like the most. Based off my face and like my attitude. And like I would love to do it, but I have tattoos and they don't let princesses have visible tattoos. You can have tattoos, but they have to be like on your back or like on your thigh or like on your ribs, like, you know, where they can't be seen. And I have 2 on my shoulders, and 1 on my arms, and like they would be very visible, like if you were wearing like some of the ball gowns. So like I can't. So well,
laser removal just for the job.
There goes that dream.
You know what? I was thinking about getting laser removal only because I do kind of want to get back into acting. I kind of miss it, but also at the same time I'm like, do I really want to remove these tattoos just for acting?
You can be in my first movie.
Oh, are you like a film person?
Tattoos allowed. No.
Kind of.
Kind of.
I'm trying to apply to UT for something like that.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
But I also want like a guaranteed job.
Yeah.
That is true. Like, yes, theater is fun, or like doing film stuff. Oh.
Yeah, like
your career gone.
COVID kind of killed all the film and like theater that was in Austin. Although it is starting to come back because I'm in a couple like Facebook pages for auditions and like like
some of my
casting.
friends are filming movies now again.
Yeah, so it's kind of starting back up in Austin.
I'm actually writing the script I'm working on right now is in Austin.
So cool. Oh my gosh. That's going to be so cool. Yeah,
and
but
by the time I'm done, COVID will definitely be gone. I'm such a slow writer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine writing. Yeah, but face characters are kind of pretentious and like they always act like they're better. It's just
I'm not
entertainment.
Surprised. They look like they would.
Yeah. Although I will say there were some of them. So like the cool thing about working parade audience control is like where the parade ends, like where it comes off stage. Like so when you're like when you're in a normal guest area of the park, it's called on stage. And when you're like behind, like in like, you know, the cast members only areas, that's called backstage. Because like Walt, when he was like creating the theme parks, he wanted it to be like an actual show and like a production.
Yeah.
So when the parade,
not an employee.
exactly, and it's a costume, not a uniform. So when the parade comes backstage, there's like an area next to our little parade audience control area, right next to entertainment. Parade audience control should really be a part of entertainment, but we're not, just because they're cheap and they don't want to pay us entertainment rates.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're more like entertainment than we are attractions. So it's really cool when the parade like is starting up or like when it's ending, because there was this one performer named Zach who would always come over and like talk to us, and like he would play Goofy sometimes, or he would play like Horace, the horse. He's like a really obscure character. And
I know that.
Yeah, he's like, you either know him or you don't. But he would come over to our little pack area and like just talk with us before the parade, like before we would have to go out to our position. He would like, just like talk, and like sometimes he'd bring over the like head, and like it kind of ruined the magic, but he would like have Goofy's head on and he'd be like talking through Goofy. And like it was kind of funny. But yeah, like some of them are really, really nice people and like really genuine people, and others, you know, like.
How much did the character people get paid again? 15?
Oh yeah, they get paid minimum wage, like 15.
And they think they're all that too. That's crazy.
Yep.
Like you work for a mega billion corporation.
Yeah.
And you're.
I think just because it's such a hard role to get. Like I've gone to so many auditions, and those auditions are so hard to get through. Like the way they do it is like there's two types of auditions. There's like face character auditions, and then there's like performer auditions. For the face characters, what they do is they just like line you up in groups of 10. They'll do five rows of 10, so like 50 people auditioning at a time, and you're lined up in that line of 10, and then they'll play a song, like some sort of Disney song. They're like, okay, look happy, look Disney. And then the casting agent walks down the line and just looks at you.
This is military as hell.
Yes, it's fucking military. And I've been to 2 of those auditions. They're called type out auditions. But those are the ones where they're looking specifically for like face characters, like lookalikes to play the characters for meet and greets in the parks. And those are fucking scary. Like they literally just walk down the line. They'll maybe pause in front of you and like look like really detailed, like stare at your face, and then they'll make a note and like walk on. And the ones that I've been to, only like 2 or 3 people have been kept, like out of the 50 that were there. And then the other auditions, the performer ones, those are like where they're casting for like parade performers, but also face characters. So like you can do both. And those are kind of hard because like you do like a little itty bitty like baby dance combo. Like, okay, you're going to march across the floor, and then you're going to do a spin, and then you're going to do this pose, and then you're going to march some more. Like that's just to like weed out who has performance quality. Because like when you do that, they want you to perform and like be big. And so I've gone to several of those. I've only gotten past the first round once. So after you do the march, they do like a big cut. They just look for who has like performance quality, and then after that, you do like animation. So like the one time when I got past that first round, they give you like a prompt, and they were like, okay, you're gonna do like a pantomime thing. We're going to play some music, and this is your prompt. And our prompt was you have to pretend to be a Monsters, Inc. character, like you were a monster, and you're prepping to scare a child. So, like, how, like, think about, like,
Go scare children.
Yeah, like, it's like a good, like, characterization test, because, like, they want you to, like, show, like, they want you to come up with a character on the fly, show how your character would get ready, and, like, pep themselves up for scaring a kid. And then like you have to do like this big like be big, because you're pantomiming. Like you can't like you can't use your face. They want you to use your body. And like that's how they like audition for like the fur characters. That's what they call like Mickey and Goofy and everyone. And then after
Mickey
that,
and Goofy are furries.
Yeah, they are furries. The furry characters. Yeah, it's confirmed. And then that's where they like do another big cut. And I didn't make it past that because I'm like not very good with my body. I don't really like move in the way that they want. And then after that, they'll have you like do another dance, and that's like more intense. And if you get past that, then that's when you try on the costumes. They like bring some of the costumes with you or with them, and they'll have you like try on like Mickey, or if they think you could be a princess, they'll have you try on Elsa, and then they'll film you doing some lines if you're a face character. So they're like really intense auditions, and like
what do
to
they
get
need to
past
film
them,
you for?
just for reference, like when they go back and they're discussing, like they'll compare your clips, you know, like they'll compare your clips to other people that they've auditioned, and then like because it's like a long process to decide for casting. It's incredibly long and crazy, and I'm like, it's kind of unnecessary. Well, I mean, I guess for their standard it's necessary, but it's like really intense. So if you make it past, I guess they do have a reason to be inflated ego, but like it's also like annoying. Yeah.
I looked up a picture of Horace, and there's just this like advent calendar with him on a horse, like a regular one, and that's just weird.
That's so weird. He's a horse.
It's always weird with Disney canon, where there's like the most famous one is the Goofy and Pluto thing.
But yeah, it's like strange.
Why do you get sentience and you don't? Like, there's normal birds, but then there's Donald, who's a duck.
Yeah. Yep. It's weird.
Don't question it. Don't think about it too hard. And then there's Goofy's wife, who I'm pretty sure has been human in like most of the animated stuff. I think that's why they just didn't have her in the Goofy movie, so they don't have to address that.
Yeah.
It's like,
can you believe that Goofy fucks? Like, I think about that.
It's
like,
I don't think about that, actually. I tend to try not to think about that sort of
thing. I think that's hilarious.
He's the only one of the three that have.
Yeah. He's like,
or he's the only one of the three that has a child.
Kids. Yeah.
He's the only one of the three that has a child.
Mickey is so famous, there's no way that, like...
Yeah, they're never going to give him a child.
Does he even have, like, nephews or anything? No, nothing?
Does he have a family?
Just him and Minnie and Pluto, I guess.
Yeah, so how would he have nephews?
Well, like Donald does.
Yeah, but Mickey doesn't have any other established family, does he?
Yeah. Huh.
Oh my god, he does.
Really?
What?
Yeah. I just Googled it. Mickey... Mickey's nephews, or Mickey's... Okay, he has a niece and a nephew.
I've never seen them ever.
What? They're just him. It's just smaller. Yep. Not even... I couldn't tell which is which just from the image.
So he has an older sister.
Send a photo.
I sent it.
Oh, I see it. Those are literally just Mickey, but as a child.
Yeah, no.
Those are two characters?
Yeah. Apparently.
What?
He has a sister?
He has a sister.
That's ridiculous.
I've never heard of these characters.
Neither have I. This is wild.
What is up with Disney and just being like... Besides that, aren't like most of their parents dead? Like, what? Doesn't Donald's... Whoever is Huey, Dewey, and Louie's like mom and dad, aren't they like dead? Isn't that like an established thing?
I think so.
That's dark for no reason.
Yeah.
Well, okay, first off,
that's true.
Mickey's Mickey's they're twins, the nephews.
Twins. Yeah.
And his sister's name is Felicity. How do you say his name? Felicity? I was gonna say Felicity, and I was like, that's not. I've heard this name.
Field Mouse.
Field Mouse. Where's the how? How is that her name?
Is his last name Field Mouse?
Isn't Mickey?
I'm pretty sure his last name is Mouse.
Oh my god, is his last name Mouse?
Mickey's last name, Mickey Theodore Mouse.
Oh my god, his middle name is Theodore.
Why does he have a middle name?
I swear I remember his name being something else. So it was like weird.
Mortimer Mouse.
Yeah, something like that. Mickey's
that was the original name.
Michael Theodore Mouse. Fuck off.
Mortimer Mouse was his original name.
Oh, doesn't Goofy have like a weird actual name?
His real name was Dippy Dog.
Goofolomew.
Ah.
Dippy Dog?
Mm-hmm. When he was first created, it was Dippy Dog.
That's the lamest name I've ever heard.
I know.
Damn.
Yep.
This is my character, Dippy Dog.
Yep. That was his first. Here we go on Wikipedia. Goofy debuted in animated cartoons starring in 1932 Mickey's Review as Dippy Dog.
I want to live in that alternate timeline where we had Mortimer Mouse and Dippy Dog.
And Dippy Dog.
Oh, what? Oh, there's multiple names. Yeah, George Jeef, I believe is
Jeef.
GG Goof. It's not even goofed. Jeef. What is this?
Jeef.
Jeef.
That's a weird. Oh man, imagine naming your kids that. I mean, obviously it's different. It's a character, but imagine naming your kids Jeef.
Damn.
Jeef.
That ain't it, Jeef.
God.
Oh my god.
I got the funny names. I think I mentioned that before. I'm not sure if it's on a podcast. It's just like, what is Mickey's personality? Like, Goofy and Donald have like set kind of how they are.
Mickey is supposed to be the straight man.
He's just yeah.
So that's his personality.
He kind of has more of a personality in like the new cartoons. I don't know if you've seen the new ones.
Like Mickey Mouse like Clubhouse. Oh no! You mean the
2D style one?
Those are good.
Yes.
Those are good.
Those are pretty good.
I watched those when they started to come out on like Disney XD or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of like them.
Me too.
They used to play those all the time in the break room. Like, oh yeah, that's another thing. The break rooms for Disney are crazy. Like, so like in Magic Kingdom, you know, like everything's underneath like the tunnels, right?
Yeah.
Like our break rooms were in the tunnels.
The utilidors or whatever. Jacob, you know about that?
What'd you say?
So it's only in Disney World. Basically, the entirety of the park is elevated, and underneath that is just like a network of tunnels that go everywhere. Okay.
So our break room was in the tunnels. And literally it was like like I wish I could show you pictures of the break room, but like pictures in the tunnels are like you can get fired for like taking pictures backstage. Like if you take anything, I've taken Snapchats where like you can only see my face and like see stuff in the background, but like even still you can't really see much in the background. But like the tunnels are crazy, and like our break room was like it literally looks like an 80s cafeteria.
Probably is an 80s cafeteria.
It probably is, honestly. Like the seats are those like the ones that are like you know how the tables and they have the chairs like attached
to the little plastic circle ones.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like my god.
Like a school cafeteria. Okay.
Yes, like a school cafeteria. That was our break room. And then they would always play like either like Mickey cartoons or the news, one or the other. Never nothing in between. It was either like the Florida news or Mickey cartoons. That's it. It was really wild. And then that was for Magic Kingdom, and then our break room for Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster. Rock and Roller Coaster was just like a portable, like, you know, those like portable sheds. Like
they only play Aerosmith. There is nothing else.
They didn't even have music in that. They just had a TV, and for whatever reason, that one was always playing like Friends or like the soap opera channel. Yeah, the TV. It was like whatever channel played Friends nonstop or like weird soap operas. That was always playing in that break room. So the Rock and Roller Coaster break room was boring, but the Tower of Terror break room, oh my gosh. Okay,
better have been nonstop Twilight Zone. That is the only excuse or only option.
No, they played like a lot of different stuff. They did play the Twilight Zone sometimes, but not always. But this one is actually inside the ride building.
Ooh.
Yeah. So the break room is in between the two drop shafts, and
that's cool.
I hated eating my lunch there. Anytime I went to the Tower of Terror, because I'd be sitting there fucking eating lunch, and like
you just hear like, screaming.
And like the scary like they like play these like scary bass noises too, like while you're dropping. So it'd be like really, really deep, low, like rumbling bass, and then like in the background. And I'm like, I'm just trying to fucking eat my lean cuisine. Like, I don't want this.
That's fair.
Yeah, and like it was painted really cool. Like to have this like Tower of Terror mural painted in there. And then there was like all this like cool like memorabilia for Tower of Terror. So that was the coolest break room, but I hated eating my lunch there just because of like the screaming and like how ominous it was. Like it's just weird.
Yeah, it sounds like you're eating lunch while mining in Minecraft, and there's just random like cave sounds.
Yes,
I wouldn't like that.
Yes, literally, like the bass sounds were like the cave sounds, and then the screaming is like mobs. Like it's so weird. I'm like, yeah, but I hated working at Tower of Terror. It was cool, but like I always picked up Coaster when I could, just because like it's more fun there. There's more to do at Coaster. Whereas like Tower of Terror, the gift shop's really small and like really boring and like, ugh, I hated it. But yeah. Yep.
Now that's some top tier interviewing, Bryce.
Correct.
Yes.
Elaborate further on whatever. What's your because most Disney people have that. What's your ride that you like have an obsession with, or just favorite ride?
I don't want to get canceled.
Ooh.
Okay,
So that means it's not Pirates of the Caribbean or Haunted Mansion.
I do love both of those. It's Splash Mountain, not for the theming, but because it was the first ride I ever rode when I went to Disney when I was little.
Yeah.
It's nostalgic. It's nostalgic. And like it was like because it was like the first thrill ride that I ever rode. And like the big drop, like I was super scared, but I rode it with my cousin. And like he was like super old, like he was older, and he was like one of those cousins who like I really looked up to as a kid. And he was like, "Come on, like I'll ride it with you. It'll be fine." And like I was like, "Okay." And like I was really scared, but like I rode it with him, and like it was really fun. And like he was like kind of like a dad type cousin because he was like, "Do you have like family that are like, okay, I don't know, my uncle." Yeah, like my uncle is like super old. Like my uncle's like a grandpa, and like my cousin is like 40. He's like now like 50 or something. But like back then, like when I was little, he was like, late 30s, like early 40s.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Come on." Like he was like another dad, right? And when we rode it, it was like I was super scared, but like I rode it with him. And also like, I don't know, I just have a thing for water rides, like water rides with like a drop. Like I love the Jurassic Park ride at Universal. They're so fun. Like
I'm so excited for I'm not sure if they're updated at Orlando, but the Jurassic World one, that one looks sick.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it's in Orlando. I know they're doing the Velocicoaster, but I have no idea about the Jurassic World thing. I think that's in Universal Studios Hollywood.
Yeah, they were closing it pretty much as we were there. But I got to ride there one last time, but then they got rid of it.
So I think
sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, go ahead. I was just gonna keep saying.
That was the end of my thing. You go.
Okay. I was gonna say I think I like Splash Mountain for the nostalgia. I'm totally against the theming. Like I totally understand that it has racist undertones. Like it's totally. I don't even know why they would make a Song of the South ride.
I thought that was like an opening day attraction, and it's like
it was not.
No, it was made in like the 90s. I'm like, what?
Yes. Michael Eisner. Gotta love Michael Eisner. One of the weirdest fucking Disney CEOs. He saved the company.
Disney is hilarious.
90s Disney is crazy. Yeah, so like I like Splash Mountain for the nostalgia. Like it's one of my favorite rides because like I love the drop rides. I also like Zippity Doo-Dah. Like that's a really cute song. Like it's a fun
will not leave your brain.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but like I don't know, just something about that song. But yes, I'm like so excited for the Princess and the Frog retheme. Like it's going to be amazing. Tiana deserves recognition. And I think the ride that like they
better open a cafe for that.
Like some sort of restaurant.
Yeah, put that somewhere in like New Orleans Square. Is that land or is that World?
That is land. They don't have New Orleans Square.
Oh, it's Frontierland, right? Something like that, Ed.
Both coasts have Frontierland. The difference is the East Coast, Disney World has Liberty Square, whereas Disneyland has New Orleans Square.
So
like Liberty Square is just like general like old timey American themed, whereas New Orleans Square is like old timey New Orleans. But yeah, the ride that like I'm obsessed with that I have to ride every single time I go is Rock and Roller Coaster. It's literally one of my favorite rides, just because like not even because I worked there. Like before that, I loved it. I like how it's like a thrill ride in the dark, and like it goes so fast. I don't know. It's really fun. It's one of my favorites.
I think they got shafted because of COVID. I remember hearing there was like a rumor that they were going to retheme that ride or something to Monsters Inc. And it was going to be like the roller coaster, but it was going to be with like the doors and that one scene.
There have been so many rumors. Like even while I was working there was rumors about it switching to Iron Man, like it did in in Disneyland Paris. Because they closed the Rock and Roller Coaster in Disneyland Paris to retheme it to an Iron Man coaster. And people were like always like, oh, they're probably going to do that here, but they can't because of the licensing. So like,
oh yeah, they're not
yeah,
allowed to do because Universal has the Orlando Marvel stuff.
yes, yeah. So in Florida, for Florida theme parks specifically, Universal owns the rights to Marvel IP in the theme parks.
Mm.
And Disney is pretty upset about that. Like I'm sure they're like actively trying to do something, but like I don't think anything's gonna happen.
I feel like they have some leverage because they own The Simpsons now, and Universal has a large section of the park that's just The Simpsons.
Isn't that like Simpsons ride gone, the like 4D one?
No, it's still there.
It's still there in Orlando. It's not there in Universal Studios Hollywood.
Really?
Okay.
What do they put in there now? Could you bring Back to the Future for a little bit, please?
I have no idea what they're. I know, right?
Just slap the film in there. I don't care if the themings are off. I just want to ride that.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I don't know what they're putting in there. I try to keep up with theme park news, but also like I don't want to be like a huge freak. Not like a freak, but like I don't know. I don't want to be one of those like people whose only personality trait is like keeping up with theme parks. I keep up with Disney World because like I used to work there.
But, I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
Park stuff.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm like on the side of Twitter that's like mostly Disney, just because like a lot of my friends are Disney people too. So I just like kind of get lapsed into Disney Twitter too. So I kind of know about some things, but others I kind of don't. Yeah.
I need to stop doing that. Just like
I just don't know. I feel like I like keep going on tangents. I don't know. Do y'all have other questions?
I mean,
do
you want to do the thing, Jacob?
We have a segment.
A segment, okay.
Have you ever heard of the Sega Dreamcast?
I have. I haven't played it.
Okay, but no worries because it has no correlation to what I'm about to talk to next outside of the name.
Great. Okay.
So the Dreamcast is a segment that we have where you are going to tell us about a strange or frightening, somewhat unusual dream that you've had, and we're going to diagnose you with mental illnesses.
Oh, God. Okay, wait.
They're not actual doctors.
Very likely going to be fake mental illnesses also.
Okay, great. Perfect. I'm trying to think of the one that I had last night because I had a weird dream last night. Oh my God. Why am I forgetting it? I woke up and I was like, that was weird. Oh, man. You were
on a podcast and it was going weird.
You know what? Well, it had something to do with like
if you want, we can try to start with Bryce, and then you can think while Bryce talks.
Yeah.
Right,
let's do Bryce.
Can you think of any dreams you've had? It could be any. It doesn't have to be recent either. Like I could tell you a dream from when I was a kid.
I haven't used on here.
Well, it's a new season. You could bring it up. We're gonna have a lot of new viewers, so.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so the most significant one that I can remember is. So you guys remember Zumafu? That's the one?
Yes.
I remember this dream.
Okay.
Do you remember you starting with that?
Do you remember the claymation part of the show?
Yes.
That elephant thing? Whatever it was?
I don't remember the elephant thing. Yeah. Hang on.
Zabumafu elephant.
Where is this nightmare creature?
You sent me a picture once.
Oh, elephant thing! I found it.
The elephant thing. What's his name? It's just Nose. Is that actually his name?
I can't find anything. This is crazy. You've sent me a picture before.
That thing.
Oh, you sent it?
It's a side profile because it's the only picture.
Why is it taking so long to load?
I don't know.
That thing.
That's that's the one you sent last time.
Yeah, the second one because it's just frontward facing and scary as hell.
That's freaky.
That does look freaky.
I was really young when I had I don't know the exact age, but I remember I had a car bed, so that's the age range I was in.
So like maybe 14, 15.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
My old house. So I remember just like I don't know what context I was in to get outside of my house, but I just was, and I was just kind of walking down my street, and I see that thing just sitting on the porch of one of the houses, and I'm like, let's not address that. Just keep walking. and then it just starts walking towards. And then it fucking walks over to my face, and then just kind of just sucks my face with its trunk, and that is the extent of that dream. And I
So you
remember
woke up.
Yeah, and I was just like, that was fucking scary.
Okay, so you said he was sitting on like someone's porch.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were just walking alone along the street.
I was walking. It was like not nighttime, but it was like the sun was setting, kind of.
Okay.
That's the
So
atmosphere.
like dusk.
Yeah, dusk, and
Okay.
and just walking by, fucking clay elephant there.
So
And he
show.
also moved like he did in the show with like the really stunted.
So he moved like he was frame by frame being moved.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the house. Can you describe the house that he was sitting at? Was it just a normal, basic suburban home?
Do you know like just very generic military duplex housing? That's like where we kind of lived for that.
Okay. So that's what it was in the dream.
I mean, that's where I lived too. It was my childhood neighborhood.
Okay. Now let me think. Zabumafu, was it a big part of your childhood, or was it just something that you knew about and like would watch on occasion?
I watched it a decent amount. It wasn't like the show I watched all the time, but I was an avid viewer, I guess you could say. Okay. It's on like top 10 shows I watched as a kid.
So I have my
in that age range at least
diagnosis.
What is it?
I think terminal? You suffer from Zabuma fear, and it's an irrational fear of Zabumafu characters. There are different classifications, of course. There's what? Okay, my grandpa just came in to let me know he's leaving. There's different classifications of the disorder, and you've got Elefante, which means you are afraid of the elephant. I don't remember his name, but we just classify it as Elefante because it's easier that way. So to help, you need to watch Paranorman, also a claymation movie, as well as Coraline. The mice called her Caroline. And then I need you to have a dream about her, and then you should be cured.
I just have to self-induce a dream.
You need to watch it enough to the point that you're dreaming about her.
So it never scared me at the time, but like the puppet they use for Zumafu, when
I've never seen the show.
Talking, he looks kind of off.
What is the puppet? What is it kind? Is it like an animal or a person?
It's a lemur.
It's a lemur.
Oh, okay.
That's what because like they would have an actual lemur that would walk around the set and like jump around and stuff. But then
that's freaky.
The puppet is when he's
talking.
Talking. It's when he talks to the cast or whatever. He talks to the Kratts brothers.
It does look pretty convincing.
So what is this show about?
Just kind of like wildlife stuff.
So like that show with those two dudes.
Are you talking about Wild Kratts?
Yeah.
The Kratts brothers were on this. This was their first show.
Oh, cool. That's crazy.
And then they did that one.
Yeah, I never watched that other show either. I just know what it is.
I like how Steve Irwin wasn't like your first go-to. It's like, no, the one with the two guys.
Yeah, because those two guys are like cartoony. I mean, Steve Irwin wasn't exactly a cartoony type. This is very cartoony.
Yeah. Also, was Steve Irwin for kids?
I mean, he was kid friendly, but he wasn't like for kids. This is like targeted at kids.
Jungle Girl, his daughter, did the kid show.
Is she engaged now? I know one of them either had a kid.
I think she's married.
I'm not sure if she's had the kid. I just know she was pregnant.
Yeah, I think she had her kid. I was reading about that. All right. Next up for a diagnosis on a dream.
Okay. I kind of thought of mine. Okay.
Kind of.
Well, I have like a rough idea. Like I started to remember some of it.
Right. Just if you want, just fill in the blanks with random information.
Okay.
Yeah, this is your test to see if you could be a good character actor at Disney.
Okay.
That's an improv.
I don't have a location, so I'm going to say that this was in Manhattan. because I have a feeling this is kind of what it was like. But we were running from something, me and my boyfriend, and I had a kid, like my child. I had a child with me. It was like my baby. And for whatever reason, told my boyfriend, I was like, okay, I'm good. Bye. I just ran off without him. Yeah.
This is our official.
Left the child also?
No. With me and the child. I was like, okay, bye. We're good.
With the kid.
And I left. No.
I know. You were with the kid and you left your boyfriend.
Yes, I had the kid with me. So I took the kid and I was like, okay, bye. We were running from something, though. I don't know what we were running from. And then we get to a location. Let's see. What location? I don't know. I'm just going to say we're at like an apartment, like a stereotypical apartment.
Okay.
And the baby starts talking to me and tells me that it doesn't love me.
Okay, this is hard to think of a funny diagnosis.
I know.
Oh, can you say you're running from zombies because it connects to the last
right.
one?
I don't know what is up with this, but I think like 4 people that have told me about a dream have included zombies.
I mean, we were running from something. There was some sense of like urgency or panic.
Okay, was it like a running from something or running to something? Like you're late or you knew that something was after you?
No, it was like a running from something. Like something was after. Like we were running away from some sort of disaster, some sort of something.
Okay.
I was trying to like get away.
Oh, this one has abandonment too. Like what the fuck? Okay.
What?
That Oni's had that one too. Or there's like the friend in the garage. Okay, you finish. Sorry.
No, I think that's the dream, right?
Oh, that was the whole thing.
And then the baby told me it didn't love me, and then I don't. And I think I was like,
so I'll give you
a
real diagnosis here because I can't think of a joke. That's, I don't know, actually. That sounds like a commitment fear right there.
Oh, I definitely have a fear of commitment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's accurate.
Yeah, but as a joke, I think you are deathly afraid of babies.
I would.
Because deep down, you don't want that baby to love you. That's why the baby said, "I don't love you," and you left with it. You were like, "I." It was sort of like exposure therapy, right? Where you left your boyfriend and you took the baby. You're like, "I need this. I need to spend time with this baby, and get away from everything else." You were running from your otherworldly issues, and then and deep down, you knew you hated this baby so much. So you got there and the baby said, "I don't love you." And the dream ended because that was like nirvana, you know? Like you reached the peak. You were like, that's all I needed. That was closure right there.
Yep. Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah, an irrational fear of babies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I always do feel a little uncomfortable around them. Like
Aren't they kind of
weird? Like, looking at me. Like,
they're weird. Yeah.
So like at Disney, of course, there's a ton of children and babies. But yeah, like people would bring babies and like, I don't know, they just stare at you and like I make a weird face and then they don't respond and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Like they're staring at me. Like
I don't remember where I was, but I was doing something and a baby was staring at me, so I made a face.
Mm-hmm.
Instant tears, screaming.
Oh no!
And I was like, I just had to pretend like I looked away, and then I looked over at the baby, like, what is going on over here?
Babies don't know what to fucking think with me because I still look pretty masculine, but then I also have like long hair, so they're just confused.
I don't think babies are confused about that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they're thinking, is this a guy or a girl?
Well, their basic understanding of gender is boob, long hair, girl, give milk.
Boob, long hair, girl.
Kind of slender man. Because that's
the baby's like a really bad computer. If long hair equals true,
and they're just staring at me like, huh? What? I don't know.
If long hair has boob.
Yeah, if long hair and if boob equals true, then give milk.
Then give milk.
It's really bad, like program.
Babies are just really crappy logic gates.
I mean, yeah, it takes a couple years to figure out what's going on.
Then they start adding a couple more ones and zeros.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Babies are dumb, like obviously, but
that is. The point.
It's not the point actually. If babies could be born smart, that would. I mean, I'm sure evolution would do that.
That'd be a little scary.
Yeah. That'd be terrifying, actually. Like you know how like when elephants give birth, or like when giraffes give birth, they can like immediately walk. Imagine like giving birth to a baby and it's already like walking around. Like that'd be terrifying.
Yeah, I think it's basically we evolved to be too fucking smart, so we have to be born that early. If we were to be born like walking like elephants and other animals, I think they said like you would be pregnant for like 27 months. Just
that would be awful.
So it's just like we'll just be born early and just take care of this kind of useless sack of meat for a couple of years until it can do its own thing.
Until it becomes a slightly less useless sack of meat.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't break your pelvis. I mean, it still will probably do that, but if it was 27 months, yeah, you're gone. No more walking for you.
Ugh.
Babies just need to stop being so stupid.
Exactly.
Then maybe I would consider them as people.
Maybe.
They just like... I think we should give babies the right to vote, quite frankly. Just add a bit of randomization to the poll.
Exactly.
Yeah, just have a few outliers, like see what happens.
I mean, politics is so divided that we need a way to like gauge like a baseline. Babies, that's how.
Just put a bunch of colored buttons in front of the baby.
Yeah, babies are as apolitical as it gets.
Smack.
Exactly. The true neutral.
Yeah, exactly. Babies. I think babies are chaotic neutral.
They just kind of like.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on the baby. Like some babies are like really quiet and like normal babies. They don't really do anything except for like eat, sleep, and poop.
Well, babies are annoying. I think quiet babies are even scarier.
Yeah.
Like you just got brought into existence, dude. You should be freaking out.
Like they know something. Like they've lived a life before.
This is pretty. This is par for the course.
Yes.
And I'm that's like, more toddlers, but I guess it extends to babies. But babies and toddlers that will like hurt themselves but not cry. That's creepy. Like they'll just like run into a wall and get up and just keep moving.
I think
like,
that's normal because sometimes for them it doesn't even hurt.
Yeah. I think it's also the parents' reaction. Like I saw this TikTok the other day of this guy who hooked up his little girl's Barbie Jeep to a drill motor or like a drill battery. And it went so fast. Oh my god! And his reaction was he was like,
"I've seen them soup those things up. Like, I've always wanted to do that."
Yeah, but like he was like, "Oh, I didn't test this first, which I'm probably a bad parent." But she was so excited, and she got on, and it flew down the driveway. And his reaction was like he was running after, like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Slow down, slow down, slow down!" I think it was like because like she seemed fine until the dad ran up and was like panicking. Yeah. And then she started to panic. Like
because babies look to their parents to learn how to react to situations.
For reactions, yeah. So yeah, I think it's like it just depends on the baby.
What creeps, babies that are born with hair and not crying, that's a bad combo.
That was me. I was born with hair and not crying.
Oof, you're a problem.
I know, I'm a problem child.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
I had the same thing.
What's wrong with you people?
They thought I was dead when I was born because I had the umbilical cord like wrapped like 4 times around my neck.
Oh my god!
You were trying to speed run that thing.
I know. I was like, I'm already done. Get me out of here.
You came out and you said, "Dang, it's kind of cold. Like this sucks."
Yeah. Get me out of here. Yeah, my mom was like, when you were born, you kind of looked like baby Harry Potter because like I had like jet black hair when I was born, which is weird because like now I have like really light brown hair.
Baby Potter.
You just weren't the chosen one.
Potter. I was not.
Dang it,
Bryce, you're big on the
that's new. I don't really do that. Do I do that? I don't know.
I think in these conversations where you're sort of, you're being recorded
more
and
formal.
that you have to continue the conversation, you just say
somehow, yeah.
Like me, whenever I'm like flirting with someone and I'm like, okay, I need to keep talking. What I'll say a lot is anyways. That's what I found out. And I'm like, anyways.
That's fair.
Like whenever you are in certain situations, you have a tick to continue the conversation. And yours in these situations is I think is a good I think is a good tick to have in conversations because it makes you sound like you're thinking.
Yeah.
Like, rather than that sounds like a dumb thinking. But it's like an intriguing, curious thinking.
Yeah.
Just holding back from doing it. Like
I don't know. I feel like we sort of covered everything, though, haven't we?
Yeah,
it has only been 2 hours.
Jeez.
Only 2.
That one flew by a lot more.
That one definitely went by quicker. It is earlier in the day, too.
Feel free to, yeah. Feel free to, cut anything out if you need.
Oh, no. We keep everything.
Okay.
Too much editing. We just throw it all in.
Yeah,
okay,
so
good.
when we used to record, it was with my friend Daniel, and he didn't want his parents to hear his friends, like our guests and stuff, swearing. So I had to go in and mark every time someone swore and go in and edit it out.
Okay.
And so now my main goal is to just do as very little editing as possible.
I like that.
So, like the last episode we recorded, I just, like before this, I got some clips that we could post, like a couple highlight clips that I'll send you, Bryce, in a little.
Yeah.
And that was like the extent to which I was willing to edit.
And then
I added pictures at one part, and then I was like, you know what, I could do this for a different part, and I'm not going to.
There's a couple you could throw in, like the uniform and the map or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do this time. It's easier
we're-
because you guys sent the photos. That's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Than me having to go find photos.
Throw in the nightmare elephant, put some creepy music over that.
Oh, definitely. I'll put some Minecraft cave sounds. I think you mentioned, just to drag this conversation just a little bit more, that you have Twitch. You stream.
I do.
What do you stream?
I don't stream.
Oh. Wait.
I have a Twitch to watch other people.
Right. Okay. Who do you watch?
Well, one of my old roommates is a streamer. So I mainly watch her and then iDubbbz, and then that's it.
iDubbbz streams?
Yeah, iDubbbz streams.
I know that. I never watched it.
I didn't know he still did
that. He streams himself just talking about stuff or playing GeoGuessr.
GeoGuessr streams are the best. I watch top tier GeoGuessr streams.
Yeah.
Where they know everything.
His favorite streamer, if you want to mention him.
Oh, Lyle?
Yep.
The therapy gecko?
Mm-hmm.
You should totally follow him.
He has his Twitch?
I watched him. Yeah, I watched him on Twitch, and then I saw him on TikTok, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. And then he got all these new
I
followers.
saw him on TikTok first.
It's great.
He just
I love him.
Streams for hours and interviews people.
Yeah, I just when it gets late and I get a notification, I just lay in bed and put his stream on. And then at the end, he will put on music and do a little dance sometimes. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm. I love his TikToks. I've seen them, but I didn't know.
I haven't watched them. I just saw him on there once, but I'll check out his TikTok actually. He's so funny.
Funny lizard man does therapy.
Bryce.
Oh, I found him.
Bryce tried to stream for a little, 3 times.
I have absolute shit quality, so it doesn't.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And I filmed. The funniest one I did was Five Nights at Freddy's, and I was playing in pretty much the dark, where you could pretty much just see my face. And every time there was a jump scare, it would just flashbang my face with light because it didn't have to jump.
Yeah, it looked like the moon in the sky, but it was Bryce's face.
Just gone into the void with you.
But anyways,
I tried doing Guitar Hero or Clone Hero, and it was so laggy. It wouldn't. Nah.
I'll stream for us next time we play.
Yeah, just you stream and I'll host. That works the best, I think.
I could even host still. It probably won't affect.
I meant not host, but I can.
Show host. I thought you meant host the server.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, see there you go. Yeah, I think that's all. I think we sort of covered as we just hit 2 hours right now.
Awesome.
Nice. Celebration.
All right, Bryce, do you want an outro? I've just relayed all the actual labor to Bryce, finding people, talking to them, getting information about them.
Yeah,
outro. I just say, all right, Bryce, do you wanna do this?
He knows how to record, so that's about it.
Yes.
I know how to do everything else. I just don't want to.
Yeah,
I had to do it. I had to do 100% last time before Bryce, so now I'm making him do it.
Now it's 90-10%.
Yeah. Now I'm like, do you want to do this? And he's like, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let me know when you're done, and we'll record.
Exactly.
Anyways, let's hear it. We're live in 5, 4, 3, 2.
I can't. Every time you count down or try to set up towards it, I'm just like, Words. Line.
Line?
Okay.
I'm waiting.
This has been down. Motherfucker. I was doing it.
Okay. Well, maybe you didn't take a whole 1 minute. All right. Action.
This has been downtown Coolsville with Epcot, Lucina.
Epcot.
Dude, you can't even get the damn names right. Come on.
Epcot, Lucinda.
Epthot, Lucinda.
Yes.
Our guest, and Jacob, the editor, quotation marks.
The producer.
Producer.
You know.
There you go. I guess I'm the secretary.
Yeah.
The PR guy.
Can you go get me a coffee on that note?
That will take like 10 minutes.
I've got time.
Actually, can I even get to your house?
I got time.
It doesn't. Yeah. It's a joke. Anyways, yeah. Thanks for listening. Check out our TikTok. Oh yeah, thanks for you joining. Yeah.
Thank you.
I was getting to that. Thanks for interrupting me.
Yes.
Damn.
I'm so sorry.
No, I mean that was cool. You have a lot of cool stories.
Oh,
I definitely didn't expect Disney to have so much to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I could write a book. Oh my god.
You should.
No, I don't want to get fired. Well,
you want to be barred.
Yeah, and I do kind of want to go back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to keep it as PG as possible because I do kind of want to go back, but also who knows?
You're gonna keep drinking the Mickey Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you like fully drink it now, or are you more like sipping on it, like just trying to keep it?
I'm sipping on it.
Okay.
I was fully like having a glass a day while I was there, but now I'm like sipping.
Damn, I suck at outros.
Yeah, you went back into the podcast.
I'm sorry. I like to talk and like interview and just like get information from people. I like to listen. But yeah, thanks for joining. And maybe if you ever want to come back on when you're working at Disney again with more stories, we'd love that.
That'd be so much fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I was saying earlier, check out our TikTok. We're on YouTube and Spotify. So if you want to listen in either of those places, check it out. And SoundCloud, but not really because I'm not going to pay for SoundCloud.
Oh.
I mean, if I end up paying for SoundCloud, we'll also be on SoundCloud. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll stop. Yep, that's all. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.